I studied computer science and I got a tech job because I was just like, that's probably a safe bet. I didn't ever have like a proper real camera, and
Yeah.
I sort of just went, right, fuck it. I'll either this is either going to work or it's not going to work. With making content for my furniture, as I started off just messing around, thinking, oh, this is something I want to do, and then I saw some like cinematic edits on Instagram, and I was just like, that would be so cool if I could make stuff like that. The main thing that got started me talking in front of camera was like my first brand deal. Because I'd never done voiceovers before that, and that was painful. I'd spent a whole day trying to record a voiceover.
Oh, that's so good. You ever annoy your partner because you're like, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the framing. Look at the framing right here. Yeah, you do that all the time. Huh?
I do. You can make content for your audience, but if you keep doing that, then there's a high chance that you're gonna either burn out or you're just gonna stop because you might not enjoy it anymore.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Cut. Today we got Phil, and his story is pretty incredible. He went from, computer science to a corporate job, quitting, going full-time into woodworking, and now creating cinematic content around his woodworking stuff. And it's pretty incredible how far he's gotten within, I was even say, the last year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. There's so many good nuggets. If you guys do like this video, like some of his stuff, please go follow him. I'll link everything down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, y'all, let's get into it.
I hate that sound. Fuck this.
You gotta tell me how the hell you got into doing what you're doing. So from a
Yeah.
job, woodworking, and then
Yep.
filmmaking. Usually, some people don't even get to the first jump. Like, they're still at their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I've always been making things. I grew up on like a farm. So I've been using tools my whole life, pretty much born with a drill in my hand. So that's something that I've always done as a hobby. But I went off to school and I studied computer science and I got a tech job because I was just like, that's probably a safe bet.
It's always like the total opposite of what you would think that they would be doing. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure. But I was always like quite a creative person, but when as you start like growing up, you're just like, okay, I've got to be a bit more realistic with my choices. So I was just like, okay, go through school. I got a tech job and I did that for like 2.5 years. And then so I worked for like an Australian company doing overnight shifts for them because it works really well. Did like security and like support sort of IT job. And they decided to close down their UK branch. And I'd gotten to the point with a job where I was like, I don't really enjoy it too much. It's not necessarily that like, didn't find it too stressful. It was a work from home job. It was great, but I wasn't like inspired or I didn't see like a future in it. When it came to like thinking, what do I do next? I didn't have like that motivation to go out and get another one. So I sort of just went, fuck it. I'll because at the same time I'd been really getting into watching like furniture YouTube videos, like people basically making stuff, and it's the whole process behind it. And I loved watching those sort of videos. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll give this a go. Like I'm quite good at the DIY stuff, and yeah, I just started making like really simple furniture, and that's how I started with the furniture.
When did like the filmmaking stuff happen? Because I'm
Right.
assuming that you weren't like, let me make furniture, and then all of a sudden it's like cinematic sequences. There's gotta be like, you know what I mean? Like you didn't just
I
turn
mean,
on a camera.
if you keep scrolling down my profile, like lots of people say, oh, delete the old stuff because then
You
it
kept it
looks
though.
like, yeah, I kept it. Like if you scroll back, you'll see the
I did.
stuff that I've been making. So I always knew that always wanted to do something in terms of video creation. I don't have a background of it, but it's like I wanted to be like a music producer. I wanted to be like the next Martin Garrix. So I was when I was younger, I did a lot of music producing. So I was always like creative like that. But yeah, so I knew that if I was going to make my furniture business like somewhat successful, marketing would be a big part of it, especially in today's world. And I am a online shop. I'm not like a physical shop where you
Yeah,
can like
yeah.
walk in. So it was always part of the plan to. I always knew I had to get some form of socials up and running, and yeah, it sort of just started from there. I got myself a GoPro and I just started trying to film the process of it. I found it very challenging at first, like having to also film while you're creating. It feels so unnatural because you just want to get on with the building. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, started with a GoPro.
There's so much to different things. Like computer science is crazy. And now that I'm putting it together, because I wanted to ask you about woodworking and filmmaking, there's a level of detail you have to do both for it to be really good. You can't mess up. Like you could. That's the fun part when you mess up and you're like, that was horrible. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
one leg of the table is slanted. Like, what is this? That happens though, right? Like, I'm assuming it
yeah,
does.
yeah,
And with filmmaking, sometimes you're like, oh, wait a minute. That doesn't look as good as I thought it was. And then you got to tweak the light. You got to put the light. But now that I'm thinking computer science, because that's a lot of detail as well. You're looking at numbers and on a sheet, and you're like, what the like? Because my brother he does that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
sometimes when I'm looking at what he does, I'm like, how did you know that period did that? Like, why is a period like there's? Do
Oh
you know what I
man,
mean?
there's
Am I
so much
bringing up
time spent.
memories?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It reminds me of my coursework. I'd be staring at a screen for 8 hours straight, trying to figure out why my code's not working,
Yeah,
and
you're
then it's
like,
like it is genuinely like one comma or your syntax is wrong somewhere, and yeah, it's like, oh great, I fixed it.
dude, yeah, exactly. So I almost feel like, because you talked about being creative as a kid growing up, and creativity sometimes it's like, there's a point where it's detailed creativity. I don't know if that makes sense. That's where the real cool stuff happens, I think. The more detail you get into colors,
Right,
wardrobe, right?
right, yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
creative people, cool. But then the real creative people, I think, are the ones that see that. Like, oh
right,
no,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
color of this
Obsess over
shirt
it. Yeah,
over it. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
almost feel like you have to obsess in computer science. You almost have to obsess in making music. Martin Garrix.
yep, yep,
He's probably, you got to be
yep,
obsessive about it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, how do you become obsessive over like three different things that are like,
It's a lot to do with my personality, I think. So I get bored of things super quickly. So I have like multiple different hobbies, and I suppose in a way this is me combining all three of them. But if I do this thing where I oversimplify how like easy something is, and then once I get stuck into it, I'm obsessed. And yes, I go, okay, this is so much harder than I thought, but I just can't stop. And that's sort of what happened with making content for my furniture. Is I started off just messing around thinking, oh, this is something I want to do. And then I saw some like cinematic edits on Instagram and I was just like, that would be so cool if I could make stuff like that. And well, yeah, I just started trying.
when did the cinematic stuff kick in?
That
When,
would have been last year, like October. So last year,
oh,
October,
so almost a year, but
yeah,
not
yeah,
even a
pretty
year.
much. Yeah, so all
Dude.
of those like cinematic reels have been popping up on my feed, and I was just like, I so want to make these. I so want to make these. And I sort of just went. I didn't ever have like a proper real camera,
Yeah.
and I sort of just went, "Ah, okay, right, fuck it. I'll either this is either going to work or it's not going to work. And I bought myself a Sony A6700 with like two prime lenses, and I was just like, right, this has to work now. I've got to try.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I bought it. I spent
yeah,
thousands of dollars.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
And what I would do is I'd find videos that I liked and I'd like screen record them and drag them into my timeline and try and break down like how they made it.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm not like I watch a bunch of things on YouTube tutorials, but I learn more by like just trying to break down what I actually want to make.
Dude,
I
that's
did the same for
crazy.
music as well. I would take songs and like try and drag them
Like
into the timeline and
and
figure
like
out.
deconstruct it.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, what is this? How many BPMs is this? Or what were you like? What was going through your head? Like, what was the first thing?
I don't know. I think I'd be looking for like the first thing was I'd be looking for like where each cut was to try and break down like right, are they cutting on the music here or like are they cutting for a
Ah,
specific reason here? Or it just gives you the ability to like slow it down so you can actually see the transition because like now that I've learned is like transitions is like it just has to like feel right or look right for it to sit. Like it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be like this crazy like effect. As long as it like feels right and sits right, that's a good transition. So I'd be breaking it down to see what their transitions look like and then trying to recreate that myself.
no, it's cool to hear from someone who is just like getting into it. That is a crazy amount of knowledge because like sometimes, usually what people will do is it just looks good, so it's like, oh, I just want what gear do they have and what
Yeah.
lens am I like? Okay, what f-stop? I want it to be blurry, but to go in and deconstruct that way where it's all right, what's the timing of this? Like, what's the feeling of this? Is like a pretty advanced I feel like.
Well, it's something I do get asked. I get asked a fair amount, like, "What camera do you have?" or like, "What lens do you have?" And the more and more, because I've gone through the whole thing of like, okay, I got the camera, but I learned very quickly. It's just like, okay, it's a big task to learn how to use the camera, but it's also majority not to do with the camera. It's to do with your skills of how you're using it and then how you're doing the edits. I learned that pretty quickly.
One thing I wanted to really ask you about is the lighting. I love the lighting in a lot of your videos. Okay, let's bring one up.
Over the next couple of months, I'm going to be building a luxury crate for my dog Twix. The only problem is, I want to use wood joints that I don't actually know how to make. So today, I'm going to attempt to make a basic version of the joint I intend to use, the wedged tenon. Stuff like this is my idea of a perfect afternoon, but I imagine for some, it's probably more like a nice cold pipe down the local. Something you might not know about me is I'm a self-taught furniture maker. In fact, I'm self-taught at basically everything I do. And when I was 13, I was obsessed with parkour videos and I taught myself how to backflip. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now and let's see how I did. So I've got the mortise, the tenon, 2 wedges. Let's see if this fits. If I say so myself, that's not too bad for a first attempt. But you tell me, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like the idea of cinematic woodworking, you could always give me a follow. Bye!
Great video, by the way.
Thanks. Shout out to Twix.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
out to Twigs. Though the real reason, everyone's loving the video. But I wanted
Yeah,
to
they're
ask
obsessed
you.
with her.
I was reading the comments. People were like, "I came for the woodworking. No, stay for Twigs." I was like,
Yeah.
"You're right. You're right." I noticed the lighting in
Yeah.
your at your station, and that's the one thing that really stood out because the shaping light is a big part of cinematography. It's like a huge part. It's not even about the camera and the gear. It's like the way that this looks, the textures that you have of like it looks like the trees coming from the thing. For this, are you're shooting at a specific time of day to get this? Is there a light outside your window? What's the lighting breakdown over
So
here?
I'm getting pretty crafty with this. So this is just a spotlight, but I can't actually stick it outside my window because of it's quite high up.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
so I've actually shone it from behind me,
Yeah.
but at like an angle, so it almost looks like it's coming through the window, but
Yeah, because the more I was breaking it down, because I could see that there's a
yeah,
window here, but then the light
yeah,
looks like it's coming from here. And I was like, wait, does he have another window on the side? I was like, where is this coming from? But it
yeah.
looks great. So what's in front of it? Like, what's in front of because there's shadows that are like over your
Oh, so,
hand.
so it's what all the like little yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a spotlight with
with
filter
the gray.
filters.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That is cool.
I love that spotlight. It's an Amaran. I've got it behind me.
Yeah,
I use it all the time for pretty much everything now. I used to primarily just use natural sunlight because I absolutely love the look of that. But
that's just tough though when
I'm in
you're
rainy
like,
England.
yeah, yeah, that's true. So you get it like for like 18 minutes maybe
Yeah,
later in the day.
yeah.
You're
So
ready
it's
with your camera. You're like, all right,
when I get sunlight, I'm just like running around trying to get all the shots I can possibly can. But then when I
you're
got this, I was
sanding
just like,
everything.
yeah. but now I got the spotlight. It's so cool. Like the just the flexibility in terms of just keeping my lighting consistent so that I can get shots that are like completely, they're all exposed the same. They all have the same lighting, so they'll match all together quite nicely. And yeah, the freedom and just the textures that you can do with it. And I like to not only use it for like textures. I really like to play around with like harsh lighting, so you get that. It's like the spotlight effect, where you can basically pull your shadows down, and then all you can see is the work that you're working on.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that
Like
look.
everything around the surrounding area is gonna be
Yep.
super crushed.
They're
Yeah,
like
cause
a
like
bit like that.
exactly like
Yep.
this. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like, man, like you really nailed the mood, right? The feeling. I guarantee you, there's so much people in woodworking or whatever, in anything that are trying to shoot like this, and they're like, how the hell is it looking like this so consistently? Because a little bit of clouds will ruin your day if
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and like this, it's so yeah, it's so clean. Oh, okay, even this. So this is same. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
assuming
it's all
this.
the same. Yeah, I don't think, I didn't move the light throughout this whole shoot. And I'm pretty
Dang.
sure it's all shot on my Sigma 56mm, and I've got a diffusion filter that I stick on the front.
Yeah, because it gives it a little dreamy kind of
Yeah.
look. I
Yeah.
love that look too. That's a
Yeah.
real. Also, like, I don't know if you use it, but there's like a haze machine that a lot of people
Yeah, yeah,
use.
I've got smoke machine, yeah.
Use smoke machine, yeah. That though is like sometimes super inconsistent, or you gotta smoke your place up like crazy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
my
little
partner's
tough.
always just like, "Why is
Yeah,
the house on fire?"
yeah. Like, what are you doing right now?
It's either the smoke machine or it's my laser cutter.
It's either or. It's like, why who's messing around right now? This is too crazy. The thing I love about yeah, you make cinematic stuff, and I think nowadays everyone assumes cinematic being the look of it.
Yeah.
But there are videos like this that I really enjoy, and you do a lot of it, but there's like a lot of storytelling that you do. Like this would be completely different if it was just like a cinematic sequence, or like,
Yeah.
there's something about you talking about it. When did you know that was started working, or when did you start
Um,
trying?
because I used to make like content where I either didn't talk or I wasn't behind the camera.
Yeah.
And I sort of just grew in confidence with as my account grew, I sort of realized that it was more and more moving into like a personal brand sort of space, moving a bit away from my woodwork. And that was growing with my interests. Like my interests were no longer just filming the process of woodworking. It was very much like, how can I make this stuff look pretty? Um, and I was getting into all like the videography side of it. And so the main thing that got started me talking in front of camera was like my first brand deal. Because I'd never done voiceovers before that, and that was painful. I'd spent a whole day trying to record a voiceover. That was so
That
painful. I hated it.
yeah, you know what? I totally get what you're saying, because there's so much you could talk. You're not like a bad talker. You can articulate really well. But the moment it's like for someone else or
Oh
something,
god, yeah, yeah,
and then you all of a sudden the words that you're saying that are easy, you're like, why did I say it like that? Why was the tone stupid? Why do I sound dumb? Why am I
yeah.
dumb? And you
You've
start
got you've
getting
got
into
to yeah, yeah. You've got to relearn to be yourself as soon as
yeah.
you stick a camera in front of it. It's so weird.
You're like, hi guys.
Yeah,
My name's Kev. Yeah, and you're
yeah,
like, what was that? Yeah, it's painful, man. But that's also a skill that like people need to learn. It's a more of a mental
yeah.
thing too.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things where like initially when you think of like a content creator, it's just like, oh, just get in front of camera and talk at it. That's easy, but it is such a skill to be able to do it authentically and really well. Yeah. So I just sort of with my first brand deal really helped in terms of I got a bit more used to talking, making voiceovers. So I was just like, okay, right now I can do voiceovers. I'll do a few more voiceovers, and that started becoming more natural. And then I started just I always made like sort of like inspirational edits, and I was just like, okay, I like the storytelling content that I see, and I think I could do that for woodworking. And it's just been something that I've just played around with, tried to get better at. I suppose I do my Instagram feed is like all this storytelling sort of content, so it sort of just soaks in. I've read a couple books as well on, or I've
Oh,
read
okay.
one book on storytelling. It's just something that I'm trying to practice and incorporate it because my long-term goal is to move on to YouTube and make
Long form.
long form and like a mixture of like cinematic style with cinematic storytelling, but also like a bit more authentic that shows off my personality.
Could you talk about personal brand? And plus, yo, I love your YouTube videos. The 2 that are up there, solid,
Thanks,
solid.
thanks.
Everyone go check it out. It's gonna be in the description.
Yeah, thanks.
Because you talk about personal brand, and just like content creation. Why did you decide like, okay, personal brand is like, I got to tell a story about Twix. Like I have to tell these stories about growing up and like leaving my job.
It's an interesting thing because I didn't actually put any necessarily conscious thought into what I'm building. I was just doing it because I felt like I wanted to do it. It was like I'm quite an impulsive person. And it's always when I get asked questions about what I'm doing, when I deconstruct it, I'm just like, oh, okay, doing this, this, and this. It's almost like I feel like I should be doing it, so I'm doing it. I never really make like conscious, I don't think I make like conscious strategic decisions. That's probably why my Instagram feed's all over the place. I love to experiment with lots of different things.
You say that, and I think it's also because there are areas in your life where you are making different conscious decisions. The attention to detail in the work makes the life kind of messy. I don't know if that makes sense, because I was just talking with another creator yesterday, and he was saying like, I'm so messy, but like I think he's talking about his life as opposed to like the detail in the work where all your energy is almost makes you like not really follow the rules outside of that. Almost.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a really messy person. My room
Yeah.
is always a tip. So I can relate to that. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's like because I think a lot of people can say like, oh, I strategically planned to do this, or like I was really like going for it. This is and I was doing this, and this because I wanted this. For me, I just got sort of like wrapped up in the last like 8 months with just obsessed about making stuff, and I've just kept on making because I really enjoyed it, and I've somehow got to here.
You've been doing it for a year. That's why, like, not even a full year, and it's actually pretty crazy how amazing like the work's been, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
Okay, so let's share this. For anyone watching, I actually this is the video I reacted to. I was like, this is crazy. This is the first thing I'm seeing. But on the topic of content and storytelling,
Yeah.
let's watch this.
So I'm a woodworker, but I also make cinematic edits, and I think I just made the craziest video of my life. It's 12 seconds long. It took me 8 hours to make. Let me know if you think I wasted 8 hours of my life.
Okay, on the topic of storytelling, why do you think that this video, because this video did really, both videos
Yeah.
did well, but this one did really, really well. And you posted this one after.
Yeah.
Like, why did you do it? And then why did you think it works?
I do this more often now, so I make multiple like hooks for my videos. Just because you can have an absolute banger, and if you don't nail the hook, and especially if you're like a growing creator and you're learning everything, it's less likely that every hook of yours is going to work. So I just make multiple now, and yeah. So actually that I filmed that bit literally as I finished the edit, and I wasn't super like comfortable with like talking to camera, so I just posted the edit at that time and thought, okay, I'll just post the edit. But then like a couple weeks later, I was just like, I'll post it on trials, see how it does.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and then it did so well on trials that I was just like, I'll just post it to the main as well. The reason why I ended up posting it is because I knew that sometimes with content, the way you package it is really important. And so by me putting like it was a very raw reaction of me finishing the edit. I was super pleased with it at the time once I finished it. And so I recorded that. And in a way it came naturally. But if I was going to break down why it worked is obviously there's me being quite natural talking to the camera. And then I like introduced that I spent 8 hours on it. And then so there's a time scale and people can judge me on how long that that took, and then I asked, like, did I waste the time? Because
Yeah.
that's also super important. I obviously struck a chord with a lot of people, and got them answering, and a lot of them said that I'm a really slow editor.
I'm like, I don't know, man, because I know the attention to detail of doing that and then like lining everything up. I'm like, let me see you guys edit something. Sometimes the people that are commenting that, you go to their page and you're like, you have
I mean,
0 videos done.
I think yes, if they had the video to copy from, then yeah, you could do it quicker. But I think a lot of people don't realize is, yeah, I might have had inspiration for it, but I am just spending hours messing around with what I think looks good. There are so many deactivated clips and nested clips or compound clips that I've got that didn't work that I've just had to scrap. And then there's I didn't use proxies for this for this.
Oh, you're nuts. That's crazy. It must
So
have been so slow and
it was
lag.
slow, and then I turn on and off the rendered timeline. So it would just take forever. So that is the real reason why it took so long, is
That
because I was just
hurts.
messing
Yeah.
around and I didn't use proxies.
Now you're like, okay, well, I should use proxies.
Yeah.
And then it's not, it's also like more about what shots look good together too, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like there are certain like things that you would probably lay down and then you're like, oh, that doesn't look as good as the red that looked across, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Mm.
color grading is something that I absolutely love to do, and it's one of the things that I'm still trying to get better at. But the filmic sort of style where it's almost looks like well, you just made the color density and it looks, the colors look really rich. I love that sort of style.
Yeah.
So yeah, having attention to detail with which colors go well with each other, which you're like made more aware of once you get into color grading of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
colors go well with each other. And then yeah, it's just about playing around, see which ones pop mostly.
Yeah, it's a lot about like color theory. Which is such a cool thing when because I like learned traditional filmmaking.
Right.
So we had classes on like set design and like and props and skin tones and like when characters wear a certain thing, it's also
Mm.
like why did the character, like for me and you, it's like I chose blue today
Yeah.
because yesterday I was wearing gray, and that's all it. You know, you might have chose green because you think green looks good with your skin tone, or what, or it's your favorite shirt. Like, there's so many choices that we make. So when you get,
I pick my outfits depending on my color grade sometimes.
thank you. Okay, that's it. That's exactly it though, because you know now when you're in the
Yeah.
grade, you're like, that pink shirt looks stupid. Like, you know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that looks, I
yeah.
looks like if I wear a brown shirt, I look topless. I'm just gonna say that. Like that's just how it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's cool that now people know it's like you chose specific things. And what do you choose and why do you choose it? Like, what's the reason? You're like, is it the lighting, the time of day, what you're working on is a little bit more
Yeah, so
specific?
I don't have like a traditional like education in film. So mine is all off of like what I've experienced and like feel. So it's, I think it's more like intuitive rather than I know the theory behind it. But I have like set colors of t-shirts. I love to wear green, especially in my grade, and I love red. The red in my workshop doesn't go too well because of the colors that are cast in there. It's quite like a yellowy
It's like a tone, yellow tone.
tone. So
Yeah.
I usually go with like a green in my workshop because that yeah, it looks better than the red. But and I also I notice it more in like the media that I watch, like the movies and the TV shows that I watch. I now watch them and I'm like,
But you have to color.
they've chosen that because it pops well or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I'm like I'm and then in terms of storytelling, I'm guessing the next plot line because I was just like, oh, this seems a bit familiar.
Yeah, and then you start to get it. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the traitor. That's the
And I'm just
traitor
like,
right there.
that's anamorphic.
Oh, that's so good. You ever annoy your partner because you're like, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the framing. Look at the framing right here. Yeah, you do that all the time. Huh?
I do.
Sometimes I have to turn that off because I like can't shut up about it. I've been better after all these years, but when I was like learning it and I was deep into it, I'm like, oh, I know that this is gonna happen right here. Like, look at the way they framed it.
Yeah.
Oh, this girl's totally lost, or this
Yes,
thing's coming
yeah,
up behind.
yeah.
Ah, but that's the beauty of it. Like, you get into this storytelling mentality and like this filmmaking mentality, and it's like a beautiful thing. You're like, oh,
Oh,
I
for
can
sure, for
connect,
sure.
you
For
know?
me, it's a bit like I find it comforting because it's like proof that I'm actually learning about the things that I'm doing rather than it was a fluke. The fact that
Yeah.
I'm now noticing things that are going on in other media that's not mine, is like confirmation that I'm picking up some of these skills, or I'm at least getting a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
you're just more aware of how things are constructed and put together,
That's the
like
thing.
why
It's
it
it's the
works.
awareness. Yeah. Like, why does this work? And then like, or why doesn't it work? Like, why was
Yeah.
this bad?
Y-
Like, why was this? I just watched a movie, Honey Don't,
Mm.
and it was very interesting. I couldn't get into it, and I was just like, I'm so confused, and I didn't think it worked. Then I go online, and it got rated like 50%, which I'm, in my head that means that half the people thought it was good. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's very definitely specific, and it's different taste, right? Not everyone's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
a certain
For sure.
style, or you must you might get some hate comments where it's like, oh, you're doing this wrong, or and because you do two different things, like you might get like, oh, you filmed this horrible, or like this, your grade is terrible, or hey, your woodworking skills suck. Like,
Oh
go
yeah. Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
computer science, bro.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, the
Yeah.
fuck?
You get the safety police in woodworking. They're just
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh, the your finger was 1 millimeter too close to the blade. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Please, thank you. But you know what? It's engagement.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes people.
I think some people are quite clever about it. They do it on purpose and they leave traps.
Oh, do they? Like, what
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of traps do they leave?
Well, just literally, like if you're using a piece of machinery, if you wear gloves, that's a really bad idea. But they know that that will attract comments.
Ah.
It's just sort of like things that people will try and pick out and pick up on. They do it on purpose, and then that drives their engagement.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a very interesting. The realm of content creation in general, though, is like, it's very weird
Yeah.
because, you get people like and then you get different types of content creators, but I could see that happening just for engagement. Oh, one thing I did want to ask you about trial reels, because you did mention it.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a lot of people use it. I've tried to use it a couple times. Not that successful. I feel like I should just keep
Right.
trying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you like use it often for a lot of stuff? Are you trialing a lot of different things?
So I use it fairly often. I don't use it too much for new content. Only if I've made multiple versions of it, and then I'll just chuck it out on trial reels. I wouldn't say I strategically use it to like test new content, but the way that I've used it and used it the most successfully is taking old content that's lived its life cycle, and then I've made a very quick re-edit of it and then reposted it to trial reels, or I've changed the hook, changed the text hook, or I've looked at the retention and then cut it where the retention falls off if it makes sense in the edit. So I've done that as well.
Wow, you're super strategic, like with, or what feels like super strategic, because like I don't look at any of the, like, I should probably be looking at retention and things like that or whatever, but wow, okay.
And then like with the video that's done the most well, which I find it interesting because I think I get why it did really well, but to me it was really simple and was really quick. It was the I make things edit,
Yeah,
which is just like
it's like a couple seconds. Here, we'll watch it.
yeah,
We'll
yeah,
watch
yeah.
it, and then you can explain why you think it did well. Why do you think this did well?
I think the sound, not what, it, not just the sound, but it's fast cuts to quite a like interesting sound. What's a better word for it? Novel sound.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so like it's actually I find this sound really annoying. And then actually I think the reason why it did really well is that I make things is very relatable in terms of there's like a bit like loads of people on here that are engineers, or they do arts and crafts as hobbies and all that sort of stuff. And then it's just with that sort of that in the background, it's got some design, it's got some prototyping, it's got a bit of woodwork in the background, and also I'd seen similar edits to this same sound with different text overlays that had also done really well. So if it was almost like a bit of like riding a trend.
It meets perfectly with like what it visually looks like, the sound, the
It's
trending audio.
it's my best conversion rate in terms of to like from views to follows or likes to follows,
Oh,
which I
really?
find
What?
really interesting.
Wow. What's the conversion? If like, do you remember off the top of your head?
I don't know the rate, but this video I think gave me 20,000 followers.
Holy Jesus!
Yeah.
Off the one video?
Yeah. 23,900.
God
And
damn!
this
Really?
this this one lived for quite a while. Its life cycle was going for until like March or April, and then it just suddenly stopped. And that's when I thought, oh, I'll give trial reels a go. So I took this video and I just changed the clips out. And I've posted like 3 of them to trial reels. The second most viewed one is at like 600,000 on trial reels.
Holy! And you haven't posted that one publicly to your feed yet?
No. I leave majority unless it's like the edit that did
Yeah,
better than
yeah.
the first one. I'll leave all of them just on trial reels because I don't want to confuse people.
For trial reels though, it's like when you make it public, do more people? I guess you would get more views because it shows to your audience, or does it
Yeah.
just is it dead after that?
Well, so the once I made the the edit where I talk into camera first.
Yeah.
That one's growth as I made it public literally stayed the same. It was already pretty exponential. And
Yeah.
it's I didn't notice I just noticed that some of my followers were interacting with it. And it was also I don't know, was it like 2 weeks after I posted the first one? So there's a high chance that a lot of people forgot about the first one anyway.
I was trying trial reels on some of the earlier videos I did. Like literally maybe the first one that kind of blew up after like a month of me doing this, and I was like, oh, you know what? I only had like I think like 2,000 followers. Let me try it right now that I
Yeah.
have like a bunch, and it just didn't do well. So I was like, oh, okay. So I just
Interesting.
kept kind of trying. Yeah, very, very interesting. So
Yeah. So you didn't change it at all?
no, I didn't, which I feel like maybe
Okay.
I should. Now that I'm hearing it from you, I'm like, okay, maybe
'Cause
there is there's
I
science
did
to it.
I have tried just flat out reposting some of them, and I did notice very early on that it would just like almost fall dead after its initial engagement. It would just stop,
Ah,
which I thought was I don't know. Obviously, don't know how it works. So ever since then, I've just been changing them slightly, or shortening them, or changing the text hook.
yeah. You know what? I'm thinking maybe it might also be like a safety feature for Instagram in case other people are reposting your
Yeah,
content, and it's like,
yeah,
well, let's not give this
yeah.
any more eyes. Oh, interesting. Okay. Um. Okay. One more video. The light refractions and things that like
Yeah.
you're playing with. What are like this? What is
That's a
this?
that's a disco ball.
Oh, wait.
I have my camera on a tripod, and I had the spotlight facing at the ceiling, and then I was just twizzling the disco ball around and just capturing the reflections on the ceiling.
What? Okay. Wait, how did you even think of it? Like, were you sitting and you saw a disco ball? You're like, ah, I'm gonna shine some light on that.
So my partner had just bought one because she liked the look of them. She's seen like some coffee setups where they had them, and it
Okay.
looks really cool. But so I sometimes get some great natural light through these windows, and with blinds, you can see on one of the clips, it's like the blind pattern on. So that one, I'm holding a little IKEA plant, twizzling that, so it looks like it's leaves from outside the room.
Dude, I wish I could see what you look like doing all this kind of stuff. You
I
know what I mean?
I
That
should
would be a
really
good
li- I-
hook. That would be a good hook.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm learning that those sort of behind the scenes and then show are usually good hooks. But yeah, when I get good sunlight, I love to just play around with the shadows, capturing the shadows, and just love just dragging the shadows all the way down, so you get that like contrast between the light and the darkness.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's
this
just
and
messing around, really.
like even this, it's very specific. This is your spotlight, and you like have the
So this was before the spotlight. So this was just
oh,
sunlight coming through my window at a weird angle. And yeah, I used it like an ND filter so that I could expose for the basically where the harsh light was hitting, and then
yeah.
yeah
Oh, dude.
the
And
background just
like
disappears.
I love that. And even like the way you pick it up
Mm.
is really interesting. Because I always look at lines. So you know how like the shadow lines are
Yeah,
coming this
yeah,
way,
yeah.
but the way you pick up the thing is this way. Because it would be different if you picked it up the other way. I'm just talking now, but like I feel like that's why it also looks cool. all this stuff. And this
Wait,
is
yeah.
yeah. Sorry,
I'm
sorry.
quite conscious about. I used to do it all the time where I put my camera down, and then especially with woodwork, if you put you have to be careful where you put your camera because your hand can easily block what you're working on, and then that means your footage is rubbish. So I'm very like conscientious about where I put the conscious about where I put the camera, so that I'm not blocking what I'm trying to shoot. But I also managed to that clip. I'm actually so pleased that I kept it. I managed to use it in an edit that I just posted today, where I was trying to mimic Paddy's kinetic editing style.
Should we watch it? Should we watch it
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now?
please.
Yeah. Dude, that's so good.
I was so stoked. I was literally like, I was so happy while I was making it. I've not had so much fun making something in ages. And like, I think I put too much like quick cuts and flashes in it, but I was just having so
No.
much fun doing it.
Yeah, so you put that in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that same shot.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear that you had so much fun, like making stuff again.
The videos that I genuinely have fun and I don't necessarily have a plan for making are my favorite. Just when you just get in the like I like hyper focus and then I spent the whole day and I come out and I've got an edit and I love it. Those that's the type of stuff that I really enjoy to make.
I'm like you, cause like I like a lot of different things. I love food. I love So I used to love doing skits and stuff like that. And when it's not fun is when I like decide to move on to different things. Right?
Yeah.
I get bored easy. I
Yeah,
could do
yeah.
something, and then that's probably why you do this, and you're like, oh, you know, uh, this is pretty fun. It's like chasing that high almost of like that.
Yeah, it is.
When you're in that flow state of fun, you're like, oh, what does this look like? What does this look like? Oh, if I slow this down, what do I if I so
Yeah, it's one of those things because I can get like so now I've come round. Of course, I was very reluctant to, but come round to the fact that scripting and shot listing your videos, if you want to make them consistently, and especially if you're making them for brands, you've got to do. Because otherwise, I can like sit and I used to some of the things that I edit where they're like just personal projects. I'll go from editing to shooting, from editing to shooting, from editing to shooting, which you just can't do if you're trying to do it consistently. But when I do get those moments where I'm just all locked in, I don't have a plan and something good comes out of it, those are the best feeling moments.
yeah. And you're like, whoa, I did that, and you're like,
Yeah.
I didn't eat all day, and it's 16 hours in.
Yeah,
I didn't shower, nothing happened. Yeah. That's a flow state right there.
Yeah.
And that must happen too with woodworking. Like you must get so deep into a project where you're like, oh, this is starting to look like what I thought it was supposed to look like.
Yeah, especially with new projects. Once you get past like a certain bit that maybe might be the challenging bit, you can. Yeah, you can get both types of projects. Ones where you want to just like, can we please finish this now? But
Yeah.
yeah, it does happen a lot where you just get so sucked in and you get the hours of your day go, or you end up. End up spending a lot of evenings doing it as well.
I think that content creators now, especially I'm finding just because I'm in this realm, like that want to make things look cinematic or they chase that. It's like they don't chase the fun, so they quit so fast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, no, I
there's some
get it,
people
yeah.
who like they'll make cinematic stuff, they'll send it to me, and then after about like maybe like 3 months, it's like they don't make anything anymore. And I'm
Yeah.
like, where do you think that they go? Like, where's the wrong in that?
I often think that some people start social media because they want to get something out of it. They're starting it to get like an end goal. Whereas I think the people that are able to sustain it for long enough is they're doing something they genuinely enjoy, and they would do it without like at least initially they would do it without like either the monetary incentive or whatever the goals that they have. I often think it comes down to that. It's like it's like the expectation, like, oh, I put so much work into this, I expect it to go well, and if when it doesn't happen, then their incentive goes. Whereas the incentive to do it should be because you enjoy it.
Like, I made this for nobody but myself.
Yeah.
But I think that's where like it's hard because the idea of posting it online is almost like a green light for you to be like, oh no, I made this for someone
Oh, for
out
sure,
there,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's, and
Yeah.
I can see where that people get it like they get it twisted
Yeah.
because I press post. It's not just for me anymore, but it's like you have to
Yeah.
still be able to press post and just be like, nah, it could be for, or someone later on could see it and get inspired. Like it's not
Yeah,
this
for
immediate
sure.
thing.
Yeah, because you can make content for your audience, but if you keep doing that, then there's a high chance that you're gonna either burn out or you're just gonna stop because you might not enjoy it anymore. Um,
Yeah.
so there's like this equal balance between you've got to make stuff that you like and put it out there, and it might do well, it might not, but you liked it, so that should be the main thing. And then there's the balance of making content that you know that works. So you've got to have a split between them to be able to keep it going consistently.
Have you burnt out? Felt like almost burnt out in the last year or so?
I think I've had mini burnouts, more about like me sort of doubting like my own abilities
Mm,
in a way,
yeah, yeah.
and just coming to like my expectations are just like, oh, I should be able to put out a video every day, forgetting the fact that I've also got to make furniture every day.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that used to weigh on me quite a lot because I know that consistency for me has worked in the past, especially when I first started because I said, "Oh, right, I'm going to post every day for 30 days or more or less every day for 30 days and see what happens," because I know for me that learning only happens once I do a lot. I'm exposed to a lot of it. But yet now I'm more focused on YouTube, and then I'm way more forgiving with myself in terms of over the past month, I've sort of stepped away from regular posting on my Instagram and I had to do that to make room to start YouTube because that was realistically something that I really wanted to do. And I needed that like headspace to not think, oh, what's the next Instagram video? To then start this new like path on YouTube where actually, if I make really good YouTube videos, then I must be able to cut some of that content down into stuff that's used on short form. So I should have been thinking about it in that way instead of short form first and then long form second.
There's a repurposing to it. And like you said, you cut different hooks for it. And like you might have 10 pieces of content from like a video. I actually even feel like I was talking to my business partner about this, and we're talking about how streamers are at the very, I don't know if you watch any live streamers, but
Yeah.
live streaming has been a huge thing. And I feel like they're at the very top of the content creator food chain only because their connection to the audience is probably the deepest. It's hard to fake being who you are if you're on camera for like 4 hours. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
you can't really act. And so there's this authenticity to it. But also in terms of content creation, from a one long live stream, a lot of them
They
will
got
cut
so
like
much content.
4 YouTube videos. And
Yeah.
then from there, you'll have clips. And like their audience is so tuned into them where they'll cut clips for them and post it for them. So like
I know. It's nuts. It is nuts.
it's like imagine someone was such a big fan of you, you were online and you're like, someone literally just clipped me and
Yeah.
Kev on this podcast
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
Patty drinking. Like dude, it's crazy, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like and I'm thinking about it with you. And I mean, when you get everything going or whatever, I would love to watch a live stream of you just woodworking and just being yourself and being like, oh, this is how I do one scene. Like I'm cutting, I'm setting up the light. I'm like, that's interesting. I'd be
Yeah.
here.
I have thought about ages ago I thought would live streaming woodworking would be quite cool. But I am sort of as I'm like trying to build out my YouTube channel, I'm thinking like what sort of stuff do I want to make on it? And I have thought about there are so many people that are genuinely interested, which I'm actually shocked at, but genuinely interested in how I film my work and how I set it up.
Yeah.
That it might be beneficial to do something like that. But I'm really enjoying getting. I've only posted 2 YouTube videos, but I'm already working on my third, and the process of doing it is so rewarding. I find, because with a YouTube video, the life cycle it lives for much longer than a short. So it feels like the investment in time is actually pays off really well.
I always look at it as like a library.
Yeah.
People will always come into the library, your YouTube library, and from like years, they'll pick out a book or a video
Yeah.
that you're like, oh,
Yeah, because it's
I
it's
haven't seen
searchable.
this one.
Yeah.
It's searchable too, but
Yeah.
also like someone who you probably do this too, because I do it. I'll watch a creator. I see a couple of their videos. I'm like, okay, let me go follow them. But when I follow them, I'm like, let me see what other videos they got.
Yeah.
Then that got me scrolling down to like 3 years ago of this, and I'm like, oh, I really like this creator. So you're kind of building out your library right now. And yeah, you could do so many different things. How to woodwork, that whole
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
How to film what? Yeah, computer science. You dabble back.
Oh,
Imagine.
I think I'm way too rusty. It's mad. You can spend your whole life like studying something, and then you spend like 2 years from it, and I'm just like, don't know
You're like
anymore.
F this period, F this
Yeah,
comma.
yeah.
Any creators that or shows or TV shows that you are watching, you are looking at right now that you would
Yes.
love
Yeah.
you would
So
love us to
I
watch?
recently also found on YouTube, I think they have Instagram as well. There's two guys, but there's one guy in front of the camera. It's called Ultra Sharp Films.
Love all. I just did an article on with Upbeat, who usually sponsors these episodes, but Ultra Sharp Films, the content
Legend. He's a legend.
so good. Okay,
The humor is so British. I love it. I
yeah.
absolutely love it.
It's
I think a
perfect.
lot of people watching it from like overseas will be like, "What the fuck? Why is he spreading
Yeah,
marmalade on something?"
but you're like you're slapping your knee.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
this is
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. It's brilliant, brilliant. I absolutely love his stuff.
Yeah, so good.
And the only other guy I would shout out would be Paddy, because I only recently just came across him, and I'm also obsessed.
Those are two amazing ones. I would love. I had come across so many creators, and there are a few where I'm like, people need to like this is
Yeah,
they're going places right now.
yeah,
Like
they're
whatever
yeah,
they're
for
doing.
sure.
And you drop so many gems, but usually we end off on like advice. Do you have any advice for people who work in other fields who want to make cinematic content?
That's a tough one. Technically, I would suggest looking into how you tell stories with your shots. Um, forget like stories with talking, but more about how you piece together a sequence so that you are telling like a cinematic story. So you've got your combination of shots, and the basic ones are close, medium, and wide, and how they will affect a viewer and how they watch what you do. I think learning to put together sequences, especially for like, we call it cinematic content now, but putting together sequences well is like, for me, is a foundation of my videos. There's just something that I tell a lot of people is, even if you want to make content but you don't think you're ready, you've just got to start trying and documenting what you're doing, because what you make early on, um, it's going to be rubbish. It, like all my stuff early on, is I look back on it as rubbish, but I look back on it, and because I haven't deleted everything, I look back on it, I have a catalog of proof that I've actually been able to learn some of this stuff. So I would just you've just got to try, and the more you try and document it, the easier it will get. And yeah, for making cinematic content, you don't even necessarily need a fancy camera. You just got to learn about what makes it cinematic, because it isn't always the camera. It's more about the shot sequencing, the narrative behind it, and the emotion that you're able to convey with your camera. And you can change things like lighting. Lighting will impact greatly on your quality of your footage. For me, the thing that worked is making sure that I'm having fun doing it. I've got to enjoy what I'm making. Um, so that's why my content is like somewhat, it sort of went from just woodworking to it expanded out, because I started just following what I really enjoyed. And that is how I learned, because I was I was enjoying doing it. So I just spent so much time doing stuff that I enjoyed.
What I get a lot from the people I talk to, the creators I talk to, is a lot of it is like just starting. That's always going to be the toughest. And it's crazy because literally almost every one of you guys who have asked this question, it comes down to just that. Like, just
Yeah.
post it. Like, but there's such a block for people who do that. There's like, what do people judge me? Well, it doesn't look like
Yeah.
yours. It does it do. It's like, literally, people, as much as you guys say it, it's because people need to hear it. And like, they'll hear this and they probably still won't start
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
just how they are. But it's like, man, there's going to be a point where you're like, that was
There will be.
actually easy.
Yeah, there will be, because it was the same for me. I was just like, oh, I know I should do it, and all I see is people saying, oh, you just have to do it, and it feels so uncomfortable to do it. But that's it. It will always feel uncomfortable, and until you get to a certain point, it will always feel uncomfortable. And the fact that it feels uncomfortable is a good thing at the start. It's meant to feel like that.
That's a real separator. Who's down to be uncomfortable right now?
Yeah. if you're not
And-
uncomfortable, you're not learning and you're not really trying.
You're not growing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.